If Rachel Reeves goes ahead with the tax increases that she's planning in the budget, you might honestly think you should just quit, pack it in, work fewer hours, or shut down entirely. Because for many people, it's about to get a lot worse. Because it's getting to the point that if you weren't born here, you wouldn't exactly stick around, as that would be a bad financial decision. The Chancellor wants to increase income tax for those earning over 50k. And recently, they leaked that they would increase dividend tax by another 2%. This is on top of the long list of taxes they've already increased. And you know what? They're not even hiding it anymore. They're literally designing a tax system that punishes businesses who take risks and create jobs. And for those who are working and earning 50k, be prepared to be squeezed. So let's look at what's happened in the past few years. The corporation tax, they've obviously jacked it up to 25%, fine. 19% was obviously temporary, and there was an argument to change it. But then they increased employers' national insurance, which for all intents and purposes is a tax on jobs. It means you'll get less of a pay rise, or worse, businesses will stop hiring. Now they want to increase dividend tax by another 2%. Businesses take all the risk. In many cases, they work 60-hour weeks. They put their money on the line, they create jobs, they drive the economy. And their reward? More tax. Now, if this government wants more jobs which pay better, she's going the wrong way about it. Unemployment just hit 5%, the highest it's been since 2021. Wage growth is at its lowest point it's been in years. And you know what Reeves' pro-growth solution is? She wants to lift the two-child benefit cap. Now look, helping families is a good thing, but it has to be paid for. They're going to be making those who earn over 50k pay for this. You may have chosen to have only 2 kids because you simply can't afford more, and you probably don't see your kids as much as you want because you're working. And now you'll have less money because you did what the government should be promoting and making tough financial decisions. So this is what doesn't make sense. The economy is struggling. Businesses are drowning, debt is out of control, unemployment is rising. And her answer is to increase the benefits bill that working people and businesses have to pay for. We're already borrowing just to keep the lights on. Our national debt is nearly 100% of GDP. We owe £2.6 trillion, and their solution is to squeeze more out of the productive part of the economy to fund an ever-growing public sector. You know what this actually reminds me of? France. Reeves must have looked at France and thought, wow, that's a great idea, I'll copy that. Over there, you can't sack anyone. Pensions are unsustainable. The public sector's bloated, and now they can't even agree a budget. They left it so long that overnight cuts are their only option. It feels like Reeves is trying to shortcut her way there. And when countries' debt becomes unsustainable, the IMF will force them to cut public spending overnight, immediate welfare cuts and tax rises. I don't think we want to see that happen to the UK again. The problem is they know full well what they're doing because they know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking, bugger this, I'll go work abroad, I'll move to Dubai or Singapore where they actually want entrepreneurs. Well, they've thought of that as well. They're floating a 20% exit tax on your assets if you try to leave the UK. Stay and they'll tax you into the ground. Leave and they'll take a fifth of everything you've built. H1C data already shows a record number of people changing their tax residency just last year. The people with capital and ideas are mobile. The more they leave, the more they'll increase income tax on working people. And before anyone watching this thinks, well, I'm just an employee, doesn't really affect me, just wake up. When businesses can't afford to hire, what happens to jobs? When small businesses shut down, who's left? Big corporations who dodge tax anyway. And when entrepreneurs give up, who ends up footing the tax bill? You do. Your income tax will go up, your council tax will go up, your VAT will go up. And what will you get for it? Potholes, a 6-month wait list for the NHS, and classrooms with more than 35 kids. So they're saying you'll have to pay more in income tax, but what you're getting is the same broken services. It's quite clear the government has made its choice. And I speak to hundreds of business owners every month. They love what they do. They want to employ people. They want to push. But every new rule, every new tax means they have to cut back on salaries or they have to think about increasing prices. And you can actually feel the morale collapsing. Since Labour have got in, they've increased public sector wages with zero efficiency requirements, refused to tackle the benefits bill, backtracked on mean tested winter fuel allowance, increased the size of the civil service, and they seem to think that the public sector is how you grow an economy. If you work in the private sector, if you run a business, if you're trying to get ahead through hard work, you're not their priority. You're just their cash cow. Their priority is the public sector, who have started working 4 days a week. Their priority is keeping millions on benefits while you work yourself into the ground to pay for it. And we're stuck with this government until 2029. So you've got two choices: quit now and let them win, or wait it out and plan. Because while they're busy destroying the economy, you need to adapt to protect your income until the government realizes what they've done is nuts. You need to survive these years and you need to do everything you can do to make sure it doesn't ruin you financially. Here's a simple illustration. Say your company was doing 100K profit. Under the new dividend rate, you'll keep roughly 54K after corporation tax and dividend tax. Under the old rates, you'd have kept closer to 58K. So 4 grand alone, just gone for doing exactly the same work. That's one staff bonus, one marketing push, or God forbid, one family holiday. We want a country that rewards hard work, that has a basic principle that if you take risks and create value, you should benefit from it. There are still strategies that work. There are still methods to build wealth despite their best efforts to stop you. But you need to be planning now. So I've put together an emergency guide. It's called Business Survival Guide, Saving Tax in 2025. It covers exactly how the new dividend tax will hit your take home and how you can fight it. And they'll look at company versus sole trader, the real numbers for 2025, and they'll look at expense claims that 90% of business owners just miss, the pension strategy that could save £15,000 a year, and then how to extract cash before the rules change. We're making tax efficiency our main focus because business owners need all the help they can get. You can download it by clicking the link below. So it's going to feel like you want to quit, like they want you to give up. But all governments are temporary. Yes, the system is being rigged against us. Yes, they're making it harder every single day. And yes, it feels like they're actively trying to destroy British business. But you need to keep in the game because this is unsustainable and they'll have to change course. So download the guide because if you're not careful over the next few years, there won't be a private sector left to tax and we'll all be queuing for benefits.